Okay, so we're gonna try this. This is episode 2 of How to Save. I don't know a lot about the Buffalo Sabres, but what I do know is that they are not the best team in hockey. They are not the best team in hockey. That they have won conference championships. They have never won a Stanley Cup, but they've won the President's Trophy. They've won division championships. And for the most part, have always had issues. They've always had issues with getting people to come to Buffalo. Because it is not exactly a free agent haven for people to come to. And that, in turn, causes them to have to piece together teams with whatever players they can find. This is how to save the Buffalo Sabres. Are you ready for the deep dive? I haven't done a lot of research, but in the research I've done since 2015, the Buffalo Sabres have had three coaches since 2015. Dan Bylsma, Phil Housley, Ralph Kruger, or 4, because Dan Granato just got named as the interim coach. But everything goes back to Captain Jack Eichel. But it also starts with management. Phil Housley and Dan Bylsma. The fact of the matter is, the general managers have not seen that much turnover since Darcy Ringer. Because Darcy Ringer and Lindy Ruff both held office for a long, long time before the turnover. Before they were let go in 2013. And then Ron Rolston did not even get an opportunity to really prove himself. Gone before the year was out. Ted Nolan doesn't even count on Wikipedia as a coach. More than likely, maybe because the interim title was never taken away from him. I don't know. But since ridding themselves of Lindy Ruff in 2013, they have not made it back to the postseason. Lindy Ruff was under Lindy Ruff, that was the last time they made it to the postseason. Looking at it, at first I thought that coaching stability was a big part in why the Sabres struggle. But the fact is, I mean, yeah, 82 game season. You know, if you give a guy a year that's given him 82 games to try and put together his strategy and his direction for the club. And, you know, I know that in some cases head coaches are interchangeable. Head coaches could be, you know, anything under the sun, as far as, you know, you could, if one doesn't work out, then another could come in and blah, 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 blah. But I could see it as, if you look at it like this, hockey goes it's the 2020-2021 season, and then next year is the 2021-2022 season. So if if somebody manages the team from 2019 till 2020 till 2022, technically they're only managing for a year because it's one season and another season. They're not managing for 2 years. They're managing for 2 full seasons in some cases, but it's also if, Ron Rolston got fired in 2013 and Ted Nolan got hired in 2013, that means that Lindy Ruff got fired at the end of the 2012-2013 season, or before the end of the 2012-2013 season, and Ron Rolston got hired before the end of the 2013 season. And Ted Nolan got hired before 2014. That is 3 coaches in less than a year. And then Ted Nolan was gone in 2015, replaced by Dan Bylsma. Phil Housley replaced him in 2017. 2019, Ralph Krueger replaced Phil Housley. And as you're aware, Ralph Krueger just got fired. If you pay attention to the Buffalo Sabres, and if you're a fan of the Buffalo Sabres, you know Dan Granato just got named interim head coach. I think that coaching stability, to a point, is one of the main parts of why the Buffalo Sabres struggle. But I don't think it's the only reason. Jack Eichel was supposed to be Buffalo's answer to Connor McDavid. And in the 2015 draft, 1 and 2, it didn't change. The Oilers got McDavid, the Sabres got Jack Eichel. In terms of the recent years, the only time they got the first overall pick was 2018. They've been in the top 10 every year since Jack Eichel's pick. They got Sam Reinhart in 2014, who is their leading point getter and leading goal scorer this far this season. And as far as the rest of the team is concerned, Sam Reinhart leads them with 8 goals, and Jack Eichel leads the team with 16 assists. Sam Reinhart's tied with Victor Olofsson with 19 points to lead the team, but also nobody. Jack McCabe, the assistant captain, is one of the only people on the team. There is 3 people with a positive plus minus. That's a problem. Tobias Ryder, Cody Eakin, Kyle Opozo, Jeff Skinner is not showing up this year. And the problem is, you got a lot of people who are having solid seasons. But the problem is the plus minus. They're giving up goals. They're giving up a lot of goals. Linus Ullmark seems to be doing, be the only reliable goalie that Buffalo has this year, with a 5-4 record. Carter Hutton is struggling this year, and so is Jonas Jonasson. But the fact is, they're lacking depth. They're missing in spots. It's because Buffalo has never been a place where people are willing to go. They don't want to go to Buffalo. Taylor Hall came here because he is from New York. That's the only reason why he picked New York. That's the only reason why he picked Buffalo. Like, he lives in New York. But just think about this. Last year with the Arizona Coyotes, Taylor Hall had 10 goals on 17 assists and a -3 plus minus. With the Devils, 6 goals on 19 assists, 11 -11. With a -17 plus minus and only 2 goals. Taylor Hall is looking for a career low in goals this season. "72 shots. But it doesn't all fall on Taylor Hall. Another consistent threat, Jeff Skinner. I remember Jeff Skinner from when he was with Carolina. I mean, he's been up in Buffalo for the last couple of years, but he's done pretty solid. I mean, I don't know if he's been I don't know if he's been injured this season or what it is. But at 28 years old, at 28 years old, he should not be looking at his best years behind him with the fact that he just was a 40 goal scorer 2 years ago. He was a positive 23 last year with a negative 22 last year with plus minus, but he's a -9 this year, but he's only got 2 goals on 1 assist. I mean, it does seem like he's been injured, but he's also played in 25 games. My point is, if the Angels in baseball prove anything, you can't build a team around one player. You have to start with that one player and build outward. You have to start with that one player and build outward. If you try and fixate on that one player and give all the pressure to that one player, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Because you're putting too much pressure on one person. Yeah, it looks like Sam Reinhart. It looks like Sam Reinhart could more than handle himself when it comes to the pressure. And it seems like they have someone worthwhile when it comes to their first line is Eric Stahl, Tobias Ryder, and Sam Reinhart. Yes, this is because Jack Eichel is injured at the moment. So is Dylan Cousins. Zemgus Jorgensen is injured as well. William Borgen, Linus Ullmark. So the only consistent, Jack McKeeb. I mean, I would say one of the problems for the Sabres is staying healthy. Honestly, I would say one of the problems for the Sabres is staying healthy. It seems that to be the case. Because they got a lot of injuries, and Jack Eichel was the toughest injury to take, and Dylan Cousins is the only one that um, is the only one that's day to day, but it just seems like they got hit with the injury bug, and I don't know if they're going to be able to come back. So, the one positive is that they can look forward to the 2021 draft. And honestly, I think what would be best for the Sabres is to look for defense, because they have they have a pretty decent team. Taylor Hall's one of the better wingers still, if he's motivated. Sam Reinhart is doing solid. Tobias Ryder, Eric Stahl is a veteran. He can lead he can help lead the players, but he can't be in the top spot. He would be better off in the second, working with younger players like Tage Thompson and teaching him how. Wait. It's Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson's a center? Excuse me? Why is if Tage Thompson's a center, then why is he playing on the wing? I mean, if they're having a lot of people play off wing, then that could be another reason why. That could be another reason why. My point is, it just takes time. And yes, they're gonna be probably one of the top picks in the draft, if not number one. It depends on their luck when it comes to the draft lottery. But the fact of the matter is, Buffalo will have competition. We'll have another team. I know that Seattle will be a part of the West and not a part of the East, but they have the veterans. They have Skinner. They have Oposo. They have Eric Stahl. They have Tobias Ryder, who's been in hockey for a while. Cody Eakin, who's been in hockey for a while. They have the veterans. But it's just a matter of, can Carter Hutton handle the starting job because when he was in St. Louis, Jake Allen had the starting job. Can Linus Ullmark be healthy and handle starting 40 games a year? Are there defensemen capable of playing defensive hockey? That's what they need to work on. They need to work on, because Sam Reinhart's showing he can score, and other people are showing. People are showing that they can score, but it's that they, with their negative plus minus, they're showing that they don't. They give up too many goals. And you could say that's in some cases, with the underperformance of Taylor Hall, with the underperformance of Jeff Skinner, with the underperformance of other players like an Oposo, you would say that maybe people in Buffalo are not motivated to perform. And if they found a way to be motivated, then maybe, just maybe, that would change things. I mean, I'm not going to say that getting a guy like Connor McDavid, a generational talent, is how Buffalo can fix things, because there's other ways to fix your team than getting a generational talent, because you can't bet on a generational talent. There's a reason why they're called generational stars. There's never going to be another Mike Trout in baseball, just like there may never be another Connor McDavid in hockey for a very long time. My point is, you can't bet on generational stars. You have to find talent elsewhere. You have to find chemistry elsewhere. You have to build a team. You had the opportunity for one of the more solid players in hockey, like a Jack Eichel, to take the steps and build around him. But now you're losing the opportunity, because Eichel, in a couple, this year or maybe next year could be leaving Buffalo. If he didn't get injured, Buffalo might have traded him. The real question is, will Don Granato get an actual chance to show what he can do in Buffalo as a head coach? Or will Buffalo go back to one of the more known head coaches like a Lindy Ruff? You know, one of those people from the proverbial list of hockey head coaches. The question is in the cards. I think hockey is savable in Buffalo, but like anything else, it takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience. It takes understanding of what player development actually is and giving those players. I think what's best for Buffalo would be building from the draft and signing reliable, capable veterans in free agency. Not people that were past their prime. Not people that are not going to come in here and play their best hockey. That people are going to come in here wanting to learn, wanting to teach, and wanting to prove that they can still play. Like how Eric Stahl was when he was in Minnesota. He came off some of his worst years in Carolina, and he wanted to prove that he can still play, and he did that with Parisi in Minnesota. And that's how he ended up with the Rangers. That's how he ended up in Buffalo. Jeff Skinner needs to prove that he's still the guy that he scored 40 goals 2 years ago. Taylor Hall needs to prove that he's the guy that was in New Jersey that could be a star, that Edmonton made the wrong decision trading him away. It can happen, but they just need people who are motivated. And I'm not saying that the players aren't motivated that are there, but it's just the fact that some of them might be tired of losing. What does the future hold for Buffalo? I think the future holds more struggles for the Sabres. But I think if they give it the time, if they give it the patience, if they give it the opportunity, if given the opportunity, they could salvage this. Don Granato and Kevin Adams can fix this if given the chance, if given the time to fix it. They're not going to fix it overnight. They are not going to fix it overnight. But I do think Buffalo, hockey in Buffalo, is something that is salvageable. I do think it's something that could work. But you just got to get the motivated players, which is young players, and build outward. I always say that in baseball you build from the 4 spot and build out, because the 4 spot is where the team is built from. In some cases, hockey is, I would assume, maybe a goalie. You build outward from the goalie, or you build downward from the top center, and then you build outward with the wingers. You find a player that you can build around, and then you go from there. The Oilers did it. If the Oilers can get better, if the Oilers can make hockey matter in Edmonton again, then Buffalo can do it too. Because it wasn't that long ago. Yes, Buffalo has never been the stars of the NHL. Have never been the stars from the NHL. But that doesn't mean that they can't get back to the postseason. They've never done good in the postseason, but they've gotten close. They've gotten conference finals. They've made 2 Stanley Cup finals but lost both. The fact of the matter is, stability, consistency, and patience, in my opinion, are what are needed to save hockey in Buffalo. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. if you like this content, if you like this type of content and these deep dives, then feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. And don't forget to ding down that notification bell to always know when a new video comes up on the channel. Till next time. Peace.